जी का भी हुआ गम्मत आ रही है।
When I requested them to come for this lecture, they have also come. Actually, he's an old friend. So when I requested him, when I had 3-4 months back, then I requested him to make it convenient to come to Delhi and address our senior officers. So he readily agreed. Because I am very, very thankful to him. I am highly obliged to him that he has acceded to my request. So this is my proud privilege to welcome him here in State Bank of India, local head office. This is New Delhi main branch, third floor of New Delhi main branch boardroom. So we welcome Ravi to this gathering here. In the gathering mostly Asians and above are there, and some old friends you know, you have already met them. So they are also here. So I will not take much time. I will just give a brief introduction of Mr. Ravi Chaturvedi. I will read out his biodata, executive summary, experience, proven track record of success across multiple countries, both developed and developing, in explosively growing market and markets that are flat, declining in the midst of economic crisis and stable growing economies competing as the small-led entrant to establish the market position and as the big leading player to strengthen and consolidate leadership. Extensive experience in beauty care, fabric and home care, feminine hygiene. Well experienced in spotting acquisition candidates, well experienced in spotting acquisition candidates, recommending closing the deal or walking away when appropriate. Extensive experience in integrating multiple acquired businesses, retaining the required talent, delivering cost and revenue synergies. First ever Asian President and member, Global Leadership Council of the Procter & Gamble P&G company, with acknowledged strength in versatile leadership, strategic thinking, brand building, organizational development with focus on developing diverse local talent and strong collaboration skills. And beauty retail to natural animal feeds and organic foods of strategy, brand building and organizational development. Advisor for Marico and to Emami, Indian Consumer Goods and Companies expanding internationally. Senior Fellow Management Department Leadership. Basically, he is teaching on globally capable leadership, regular guest lecture on business and marketing strategy. He will be delivering here a talk on leadership that transcends culture, and he will be linking a lecture to customer service. As you are aware, customer service in SBI comes for a lot of flack from the customers. SBI is considered to be a government bank where normally that is the perception that people are not concerned about the customers. So he will be linking his leadership talk with the customer service, and he will, and then you can ask questions from him as and when you feel like. I think better he has his own way of presentation, but according to me, let him deliver the lecture first, and then you can ask for whatever he decides that is his prerogative. So, Ravi, welcome to you.
Thank you. But it's a Saturday, and instead of getting drunk, you're all here listening to me only. That's not necessarily the most stimulating thing to be doing. So I'll try and keep you interested. I'm extremely comfortable if you stop me anywhere and please come in, and ask me whatever is on your mind. I normally don't get distracted by questions. I don't lose my flow of thought, and I'm very happy to answer whatever you want. As a quick background to whatever Sri Prakash read, I was born in India. I studied in Bihar and went to Science College in Patna. And then, because I wasn't bright enough to be a doctor or an engineer, I came to Sri Ram College, did my economics, and discovered there is something called MBA, which I'd never heard of till I came here. I stumbled into Bombay and discovered that I actually like what I do. When I did my summer internship at Lakme, that was the company which was still with Simon Tata at that time. And that's become my journey. Since then, I've worked in 7 countries. I joined Procter & Gamble in India. And working across 7 countries, I was this weird guy who had landed up in Cincinnati, USA. I was neither born in the US nor had I studied in the US. I had never worked in the US. I just went to run a business. And at that time, it was still very unusual for the company to have that happen. So a lot of what I speak is basically what I have learned about leadership. And at the very outset, I must say that there is no right or one way to lead. Certainly, it is my assertion to you that whatever I tell you is not the leadership. It is something which works for me. That doesn't mean it will work for you. That doesn't mean it will be effective for you. But I also do believe that you should hear various people talk about leadership, because leadership is so multifaceted that the more people you hear talk about leadership and then garner what will work for you, the better it is for you. So I'm not here to tell you this is a prescription for great leadership. I'm only here to tell you that this is one approach to leadership which works for me. I'm not here to convince you that this is the right leadership, you must follow it. If you don't agree with it, throw it into the dustbin. It doesn't matter, right? So keep that approach in mind, that it's just one approach and it's a stimulus. So given that, one reason, I begin with leadership that transcends cultures. And you'd say, why should I care? Why should I care about leadership that transcends cultures? And I would submit to you that every organization is trying to create people, managers who are globally capable. And eventually what I have learned is globally capable managers seem to have 3 qualities. The first is they are functional masters. They know. They have knowledge of their function. Okay, so they have mastery in their craft. Second, they use this knowledge to lead. And third, they are persuasive communicators. So they get their work done by being knowledgeable and using that knowledge to persuade in an effective way. And what we are focusing in today is really just one of those triangles. And that is leadership, because I call myself a leadership evangelist. So I go and talk about leadership anywhere. And I had a fascinating experience in Calcutta about 6 or 8 months ago. In a gathering like this, there were some 70 odd doctors who came and talked about leadership. And we began at about 8 after they finished their practice on a Saturday like this. And we were talking till 1 o'clock. So I will, go a long way to just talk leadership, because I think it's the world's most scarce resource. And nothing happens without great leadership. So if I can contribute in some way, shape or form, anywhere, to creating better leaders, I think it's time well spent. So that's my motivation to do all of this. So here is one possible definition of leadership. First, I absolutely believe that leadership is a capability. It is learned. And much like you learn how to speak English, how you learn how to walk, you learn leadership. I absolutely, personally, don't believe that there are born leaders. That I believe is just nonsense. There's nothing called a born leader. Everyone learns how to lead. Now, some people may get better at it. Some people may not be as good at it. But much like you learn math, some people get better at math and other people are not so good at math. But yet it is a learned skill and everyone can be a leader. So first off, that's my first assertion, that leadership is a capability, it can be learned. And it's a capability to inspire people to sustainably deliver results. So leadership is first and foremost, it's about substance, it's not about style. I couldn't care less what your style of leadership is. Question is, do you sustainably deliver results? And if you do, you're a great leader. If you can inspire people to deliver results they did not think possible. And you may have had several occasions where you sit down with your team and they think that this is not possible to do. And if you can inspire them to deliver results which they did not think possible and do it again and again and again, I believe you're a great leader. So that's my simple definition of leadership, and I'll read it again. It's a capability to inspire people to sustainably deliver results they did not think possible. That's my definition of leadership, just 2 lines. And how do you do it? Again, in my view, just 2 simple things. First, an unwavering commitment to delight those you serve. And that's customer service in your language. So when Sri Prakash first asked me, he said, can you weave in customer service? I said, I can't not have customer service in leadership. There is nothing called great leadership without great customer service. Doesn't exist. Leadership is external in nature, it isn't internal in nature. It begins and ends first and foremost with an unwavering commitment to delight those you serve. And second focus is an unrelenting focus on enabling each person to develop into the best they can be. So you deliver results sustainably by focusing on just two things. Great customer service and making sure your people are successful. Your people are as successful as they can be. Not everyone will grow to become the chairman of your company. But everyone must fulfill their potential. And if you can't fulfill their potential within your organization, you should be happy if they go outside your organization and fulfill their potential. Strange as it may seem, the Procter & Gamble company, we actually keep a list of all the CEOs who worked in the Procter & Gamble company, and we have their phone numbers and email and everything. And we have 125 people outside of P&G who are heads of companies who worked in P&G. And we are very proud of them. Because if we can't fulfill their potential, they should be happy outside and fulfill their potential. So, again, everyone will not be a CEO, everyone would be a chairman, but everyone must get the opportunity to continually learn, develop, and become the best possible they can become. And really that's a simple way to look at leadership for me. So, sustainably deliver results, focus on the customer, and develop your people. And it's not more rocket science than that. It's just that. All right?
But isn't this limited to a organization, corporate culture? Because I don't think this is valid for political leadership.
Really? Why should a political party exist?
Because the first unwavering commitment to delight those they serve.
Aren't political parties meant to be serving you and me?
Then there are people who are called good leaders even if they are not.
Oh, I don't care what people call them, if they're good leaders or not. The question is, are they?
So are they delighting the people they serve?
I don't think so. That's why you are questioning that they are not great leaders.
But they are generally accepted great leaders.
Oh, I don't care whether they are generally accepted or not.
But when we are talking about definitions, that's what I meant.
Yeah, and that's what I said. This is not the right definition. This is the definition which works for me. And oh, by the way, I hold political leaders to the same standard. So if they don't deliver, I don't vote for them. What does India do? I think India is terrific. They throw out their leaders if they don't perform.
See, if people do not perform, still the masses vote for them. And so they've got that mass appeal.
Right. And how many times have you seen leaders who you thought would never lose power, and they did? And it's in this masses of India that it has happened. You know, I had a fascinating conversation with my driver the day Delhi elections were there. And he was so articulate as to why he would vote for the current party in power. He was very articulate as to why he would do that and why he would not vote for the established parties.
No, but then that's what, no, it is a part, it's a section only they delight. It is not the whole, the community which they serve that they delight. They delight only a certain section.
Okay, so they're not great leaders.
That's what comes out of it, but it doesn't hold to this definition.
And that's why I'm saying they're not great leaders. Now, we can argue about this for the rest of the evening. But as I said, I'm not here to convince you that this is the right definition of leadership. Okay? It's up to you whether you accept this is the right definition or not. I couldn't care less. Right? So, what I'm here to tell you is this works for me. And I have worked in multiple countries using just this simple facet. Okay? I worked in 7 different countries with cultures which are dramatically different. So I worked in India, I worked in Sri Lanka, I worked in China, I worked in Japan, I worked in the US, I worked in Thailand, I worked in Philippines. I've run all of ASEAN, Australasia, and India. And this works for me, right? And I hold many leaders up to this standard, okay? Now, whether they are great leaders or not, it's up to you to decide. But this is my definition of leadership, all right? Okay? But I'm glad you asked the question. Doesn't offend me, as I said. Thank you. I like it active. Otherwise, it'll be very boring if I speak and you are quiet. So we'll have fun while we talk. All right. Now, so let's talk customer service for a minute, and I will go back and forth at several times, inherently linking leadership, fulfillment, and customer service. So what is customer service? What do you think is customer service? So here's what my stab is. So first and foremost, service is based on deep knowledge of consumer needs and aspirations. So one question you have to be asking ourselves, do I really understand what my customer needs and aspires to? And oh, by the way, most of the time the customer won't tell you. Because the customer's job is to consume. Their job is not to figure out and tell you what service they desire. And I'll tell you a story to illustrate this. So I was working in the Philippines on a brand called Tide. It's a laundry detergent. And I went to the home of this consumer in the Philippines, and I asked to see her clothes, right? And I said, can you tell me all the problems that you have in washing clothes? And she said, I have no problems. None. Okay? And I said, well, can you show me your clothes? Fully expecting that she will show me some dirty clothes, right? Clothes which are not clean. She brings out these clothes, they are sparkling white, pristine white, and stain-free. Right? And one aspect of understanding consumers, I would submit to you, is curiosity. So please be curious, ask questions as to why people do certain things. And so I was very curious, what got this woman to have this quality of clean clothes? And I said, do you mind if I stay in your home and just watch what you do? How do you wash your clothes? Do you know how long I spent in her home? 4 hours. 4 hours. So every day she was spending 4 hours washing clothes. 4 hours.